Benfica Podcast is one of the founding members of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is an independent platform made by fans for fans, and in it you can find opinion articles, podcasts, including ours truly, and also modalidades, if you will. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Benfica Independent, where you can get merch, you can sign to get exclusive content, and share your Benfiquismo.
Ser benfiquista é uma crença. É uma religião muito grande. A adesão a um culto. Que é liberado, que crê, que é mental, que é o caráter das pessoas.
Calma de quem é grande, maior que os maiores. É uma paixão com outra explicação.
Eu não consigo explicar o que é ser do Benfica. Eu sinto o que é ser do Benfica. É de facto uma paixão. E as paixões são assim, vivem-se assim intensamente.
Aqui não há nenhuma razão. É paixão, paixão, paixão.
Ser Benfica. Até à morte.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dog Benfica Podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. Tonight we bring you episode number 447. A couple more, well, this one and another podcast until the end. I'm very happy about that. Cristiano, how you feeling?
Alfredinho, menino. I'm feeling wonderful, but let me tell you a little something before we get started. Many times we come on this podcast and absolutely deflated, and this happens to be one of those times where I don't even feel like being here, but I enjoy you guys' company, so I come out here to talk to you guys. But once I hear that freaking intro, I'm ready to go, bro. I mean, verissimo. I'm ready for this weekend if you need me. That freaking intro gets me pumped every single time. So, what's going on? Welcome, all the Freddies. Hello, meninos, como é que é? And I'll pass it back over to you, Alfred.
Dave, how you been?
Doing well, like Chris says, we kind of dread and drag our feet coming on here.
Our feet?
But yeah, our feet. But once we're here, we're chatting. We got the Freddies going in the chat. It's definitely going to be a therapy session once again here, and counting down the days till summer holidays here on the Benfica Podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight we brought a special guest to join us. You may know him if you live here in the Newark area or New Jersey area. You may know him from SIC Internacional. He's the Benfica face in what is that show called, Cristiano?
Canto Direto.
Canto Direto, which is the SIC Internacional version of I don't know.
Wait,
like one of those shows like Trio de Ataque, three guys complaining. But
yeah,
we try to do a good job over here. Boa noite, pessoal. Tá-se bem, malta?
Yeah.
Wait, how is this guy gonna come on my show and you call him Cristiano? You change my name.
I was just reading his name. You're 10CO10 tonight.
Okay.
10CO.
Beleza.
Yeah. Today we're gonna have to ping pong this, man. It's like Cristiano. I'm gonna wait for 10CO10 to take the lead. If he doesn't answer, then I'll go in.
Yeah, that's right. So here we are, episode number 447. Not much to talk about, I guess. That's why we got an extra guest just to fill it.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Now, actually, what Cristiano and I have spoken, and we've been meaning to bring you on for a while, understanding that you probably got a beating on yesterday's show, which is a show that's live on Mondays, correct?
Live on Mondays, 8:15, SPT, SIC Internacional. Booyah!
Booyaka! Yeah. Yeah, so we figured since you got beat up last night, because we know the Porto face there, he was one of the guys that did the Three Tugas podcast, and I know how annoying he could be when he gets on his Porto. He's like a rabid dog. He won't let go. There's no talking sense into him. So we figured we'd bring you on and at least give you some love here, because you probably got beat up yesterday, despite you saying that you just ignored him the whole show. But here we are. This is your environment. This is where you belong, Chris.
I love it. A lot of red around us.
We just gotta. Is it just me or is it microphone?
Yeah, in order for him to be around his people, he needs to get a new microphone. We need SIC Internacional to pay for him to get some equipment, because in today's day and age, where everybody does their shows from home, barely anybody goes into, even gets out of the house nowadays. Come on, SIC, Step up. Give a guy a microphone. Come on. That's the least you could do.
Yeah.
Does it have a lot of static, guys? It does?
Yeah. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It has some static.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. We're used to shit going wrong here on the podcast.
Yeah, but people are gonna want to listen to Cristiano,
Oh, well, I'm here.
the other one.
Oh, the other.
So he's
Listen,
gonna figure out. Well,
let
if he
me-
figures it out, we'll get this show going. I'm sure everybody enjoyed Cristiano's stories, but I hate to be the bearer of the bad news. I don't think we have any more stories for you today.
Before we get going, let me just tell a little funny story. I'm gonna tell a little funny story. So, growing up in Newark, New Jersey, in the late '80s, right, in early '90s, with the name Cristiano, it was very difficult because I got called everything but Cristiano. It was Cristino, it was Cristano, I was shish kebab. It was whatever the hell it came to mind. It was everything but Cristiano. And then it just so happens that my best friend was named Liborio. Right, so two weird ass names, Cristiano and Liborio. Like he used to be called Laborator. Yo, Laborator, what's that? Like it was just crazy, two crazy ass names. And then to my surprise, I get to meet a guy that's named Cristiano Liborio. He got both weird ass names in his name, so it was just we became an instant hit at the time. Like it was just I felt sorry for the guy because he had both of them crappy names attached to him. So I've always had nothing but respect for our good friend Cristiano here. So I thought that was interesting.
That's right. So here we are. Let's get right into it, right? Or Cristiano, you got any stories? Well,
I
that
got
was your
plenty of
story
them,
for
but
the show.
again, those are from my OnlyFans channel.
Carlos is saying that JJ is sneaking on your back. He's photobombing you.
What can I say? JJ is a touchy subject. We're not here to talk about JJ today.
All right, Porto. A game where Benfica had
Well, that's Alfred. You really want to get in? Like, I have to interrupt you, bro. You really want to get into this right away?
I don't know if there's anything else that we could
You
talk
gotta rip
about.
the band-aid.
I got an idea.
Band-aid off.
I got an idea. No,
What's the
forget the
idea?
Band-Aid. I mean, talking about Porto, that's a band. No matter what you do, you're gonna scratch for the rest of your life. You're gonna have a scar there. Okay, so let's talk about interesting things here, right? Cristiano Liborio, what's going on? Welcome to the pod. How'd you become a Benfiquista? And tell us about how Cristiano Liborio lives the Benfica life day to day. Bye. Estás a ver, Alfredo? It's just
I was waiting for his microphone to be good to get into that. Estás a ver? Agora fodeu.
Don't fool me. Pá, vai o WhatsApp e manda mensagem. We'll play. What's up, my dudes? Who's this? Davey Hand. Yo, everybody in the chat.
Oh, wow.
Welcome.
Everybody getting in on the action today.
Everybody's
Hello,
in.
all the Freddies and everybody. That's we never get any ladies on. Cristiano, you gotta do something to get some ladies on this chat. Nothing but a sausage fest here.
David, do me a favor, David. Why don't you give your good friend Nelson some advice and tell him not to do it to himself? He's going to leave the podcast to go watch the other
Leafs.
cursed team, along with my New York Rangers, the other cursed team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Don't do it, brother. Stick around. Cristiano Cris Liborio, he'll get his microphone working soon enough. And stay here. It's not going to be as gut-wrenching. You already had to live through that nightmare on Saturday. Now you're going to do it to yourself again. I don't do it.
Davey N is here. I haven't seen Davey in a second. What's going on, everybody? Carlos, everybody says everybody's here. Timo,
Everybody's
what's up,
here for the
Timo?
free therapy session. Come on.
Chico Marcelino was the first one to get in.
Chico, man, listen, I love all.
Bob the Builder is here. All we need is Dora the Explorer. Then we got the whole set.
I absolutely love all the Freddies. And so hats off and respect to all you guys. And thank you for all the support along the years. But those guys that are right now, what is it, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in Sweden and in Portugal and what, I mean, quando eu vos ver lá na roulette, eu pago cerveja.
Michael Madeira is here also.
Is he from
happening,
Madeira?
Michael?
Is he from Madeira?
Michael Wood.
Or is he from Açores?
Albert Fernandes. Wow, everybody's getting in on this action.
That's
Everybody's
what's up.
anxious.
Everybody's
you know what
anxious.
happens? Everybody got FOMO of your stories. That's why.
Yeah, Chico should have stayed away. I mean, look, we are living Vietnam 2.0. Come on, Chico, man. You talk about nightmares, brother. Mas vai lá.
Rob, I'm gonna see Deftones and Gojira this weekend. I hope you're excited for me.
You gonna see who?
The Deftones and Gojira.
Que isso?
É uma coisa daquelas.
1980s porno movie.
That's right.
I never heard of that. Honest to God, and, you know, you listen to some funky music, but Michael Madeira is from Coimbra, so
There you go.
it's close to Madeira. It's closer
Chico
than the
Marcelino
United
says
States.
he always watches at 3 a.m.
My man, appreciate all the
All right,
love.
let's get this going, man.
Let's go,
Let's
bro.
get this going because the longer we go, the more depressing it's going to get, or not.
Yeah,
So
when Cristiano comes back, we'll ask him all the questions. Right now,
We'll
he's
ask
trying
him.
to,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out.
Dave, keep notes of the questions we need to ask Cristiano when he comes back. That's right. See, Chico Marcelino doesn't want to talk about Gojira. Yeah, this weekend. This was a show that's been canceled twice now. It was right before COVID happened. Yeah. So Rob knows what I'm talking about because him and I trade messages all the time. So anyway, Red Baron is here. North Arlington in the house.
Red LeBaron, Meineke Athletics.
So anyway, the game at Stadio Luz on Saturday. Porto with the chance to or with an opportunity to win the league with 1 point with a tie or a win over Benfica. Benfica with a game where they had a chance to kind of, you know, save a little bit of their skin, a little bit of their pride, and certainly the team tried. I got to say the team tried, but it wasn't enough. I'll give you the lineup. We'll get into it. Flaco Dimos, Gilberto, Otamendi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo, Weigl and Tarapt, Diaz and Lázaro, Ramos behind Darwin. Cristiano, when you saw this lineup, what'd you think of this lineup with Diaz and Lázaro? Well, Diaz, I know you're happy about.
I was excited. I mean, hometown representing Gafanha, bro. I mean, it's not every day you get to get a Gafanhoto and a Benfica starting lineup, and we had it in the Clásico. So, all jokes aside, though, I mean, look, once you saw it, you're at the point now of the season with 2 games remaining. Whether you win or lose in this game, it really wasn't going to change anything in the standings. It was just more of a pride, and, you know, obviously you always have that crazy matchup and that crazy rivalry with Porto. You never want to lose to those guys. So aside from that, you know, we were in the it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And so it was good to see. It was good to see the team come out and actually put an effort to it. In the first few minutes, I thought Benfica tried to keep possession of the ball, you know, kind of like the whole keep away. If you don't got it, you can't do any damage with it. But after that, it became a very, very poor showing of football on both sides. It was not one of the games that we're definitely going to go back and rewind the tape to check out. It's not going to be in the RTP Memoria anytime soon.
That's for sure. No, here it is.
He's back.
Chris is here. Chris,
I'm back,
what's
I'm
happening,
back.
man? Welcome to the show.
I know, man. I know. I've been going in and out. This technologia is not working for me today.
So, Chris, let me.
Tá como VAR, bro. Tá como VAR. It's not working, man. It's not working. I'm 2 centimeters off the whole time.
That's what she said.
Oh, well, depends on how the 2 centimeters go on that one, right?
I'm supposed to have the drums, but I don't. It was a little late, guys. But you know, it was.
That wasn't a drum either, though.
No, Cristiano, you gotta get reassigned to a different duty because you don't do a very good job on the sound effects, man. I gotta be honest.
Think it is? Ah, okay.
All right, yo, take it easy, all right? Não falta respeito, calminha.
Ainda vai jogar com pau, bro.
Libori, let me ask you this, man. Coming into this game, what were your expectations for this game? And then after you saw the lineup?
I'll tell you one thing, man. The expectation was I didn't want to lose. And the other expectation was I didn't want those dudes to be celebrating
In our stadium.
at the stadium.
Yeah.
And they did enough to try to not make it happen. I'll tell you one thing. I thought Lázaro had a great game. I thought there were dudes there that played for the shirt. You know, that sprint that Darwin made all the way back. That sprint that Darwin made all the way back on the Portugal, man. João Mario came back too. There were dudes there that played, man, that didn't want to lose or tie either. But I think it was one of those games. It was almost like damage control. They were just trying to like evitar males maiores, you know, and kind of didn't work out.
Yeah, look, I thought that.
Hey, Mike, shout out to you too, but.
And I thought that look, we said this here before that Verissimo was comfortable when you give possession to the other team and then you go on that counter. to use the speed of Darwin. But it looked like the team wanted to paint a good image of themselves in front of their fan base. I just think that when you look at this game and you look at the performance of Porto, it's you have to you have to look at and I hate to compliment these guys, but you have to think that their experience and their maturity this season and this team in general is what won them the game because they were very patient. They knew that Benfica really wasn't posing any danger. As a matter of fact, I think what their goalie had like maybe one or two saves that I could remember, and then just waited for their moment. They when the whistle sounded, they're already champions because all they needed was a point.
Exactly,
So,
but I think that's a lot of the reason why they play the way that they did. Yes, Alfredo, you're correct. These guys have been in battles over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? They've won 2 titles now. It's the second title in 3 years. They've got a lot of experience up and down that lineup. But at the same time, it was very easy for them. I mean, Benfica hasn't exactly been lighting anyone up. And look, Benfica had all the pressure on them at the Estádio da Luz. Porto needed a draw, and they're champions. They're fine with that. And if they were able to keep Benfica off the scoreboard, they were still going to celebrate. So it was, for them, with the exception of that one goal that, some way, somehow they found the frame that was able to show that, Darwin was offsides. With the exception of that one play, they weren't under any constant pressure.
Darwin was not offside.
Yeah,
unfortunately, in that angle, in that frame, he was, and
we'll get into that in a little bit. But
I just wanted to finish, Alfred. That look, Porto was playing with house money. Porto was playing with house money, and then on top of it, look, this has been going on now. It's not this season or the year before. This has been going on for years. Where Porto knows that they're in the Benfica players, the Benfica fans. They're in our head. Call it what you want to call it, but they know coming into Estádio da Luz. Look, Alfredo, I remember years ago, I made the reference. Porto's type of team comes in your house, opens your kitchen, opens your refrigerator, drinks all your, drinks all your beer, eats all your frango, goes in your room, smashes your wife, and walks out the door, and doesn't even, walks out the house. And that's the way they are. And Benfica always try to do things a polite way. We try to approach things. We're classy. We want to, come here and play proper football. And in games like this, man, all that shit's out the window. And Porto, I think Porto, again, as I said before, they were playing with house money. They had nothing to lose, with the exception of, Benfica putting any type of pressure on them consistently. They never did. And so they did what they had to do, man.
Yeah.
It sucks to admit, but.
Dave, what about you? I know that watching Benfica for you lately has been almost like a trip to your favorite mistress, where you get whipped and chained up and treated like a baby.
Some people are into that,
How was your experience watching this game?
I got to give it to Benfica. They really came out strong. The first 10 minutes, you could tell that they were coming for a result here, and they were playing with some pride and didn't want these guys to be crowned champions at our home. But Porto, you got to give it to them. They weathered the storm there after the initial rush, and the game settled down. I thought Porto came out to start the second half on the strong foot there, but got to be honest with the Freddies. Alfredo and Chris already know what happened, but as soon as I saw those VAR shenanigans and the 2 centimeters off, I shut off the game because this league isn't worth my time and stress if they're going to be putting up with those shenanigans.
No, look,
that was my protest.
As soon as you see how long it was taking, you knew they were up to something. Okay, let me put this into perspective for you guys. So
I went and grabbed the Vaseline jar.
So whether you're in Canada or whether you're in the United States, where we use inches and Canada use centimeters, 2 centimeters is 3/4 of an inch.
Yep.
Right. 3/4 of an inch.
0.78 to be exact.
Now imagine how small that is. That could be. How can you detect that that's 2 inches? Because the line placement, you can't get that precise to 2 centimeters to a guy's shoe or a guy's elbow. It could just be a fold on your sleeve. 2 centimeters. How are you going to call 2 centimeters? And I've always heard that if it's doubtful, then
Advantage
the
to the
advantage
striker,
goes if
the attacking team.
if you're even, you're on. And look, that 2 centimeters has to be considered as an even.
Isn't this like the fourth goal of the last 6? Benfica's actually scored 6 goals on Porto over the last couple of games or whatever, few games, and this is the 4th one that got called back on VAR. Some crazy stat like that.
Well, I think I saw something that it was like the last 2 goals have been a combined 6 centimeters off. So I guess the last one was 4 centimeters and this one was 2 centimeters. So
No,
the next one's going to be 1 centimeter, right?
No, and I know that in the EPL that what they're trying to do is they're trying to thicken the lines to get rid of some of those marginal differences. That's what they're trying to do. But and I have to agree with Chico Marcelino. He was saying that as soon as it took that long to get to it, you knew they were up to no good. You knew they were up to no good.
I've always said that the offside rule should be changed to if there's daylight. Because this body, I'm a head. No, bro. To me, it's real simple. Is there daylight? Because it's a lot easier to determine daylight than it is to determine if your shoulder or your orelha. What if you got a big nose? You know what I mean? Like it's stupid. So I believe they should change it to if there's actually daylight between between the defending a player and an attacking player. If you can see daylight, he's offsides. If you can't see daylight and I'm slightly ahead, it is what it is, bro. I'm slightly ahead of you. So
well, in the EPL, they don't even measure it, right? It's just the thickness of the line.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. They thickened up the lines to get rid of those marginal differences. But 2 centimeters, man. That's that's killing the game.
Did you guys see the image that they used? The ball
was out of Otamendi's foot already.
The ball was already out of his foot.
There was a frame after.
I took a picture of the TV, man. It doesn't even make sense. How are you gonna put that frame on live television? Choose that frame when the ball already departed from the dude's foot. It's just making a mockery of our league at this point.
Let me tell you what's a mockery. You know what a mockery is? I'm gonna tell you what a mockery is, and you guys are scholar ones. But let me tell you what a mockery is. We know very damn well going into these games that this shit's gonna happen, and we still expect a different outcome.
So we're the suckers.
Exactly. And then it happens, and then we come on here, we cry about it. And now, like I said, it's 4 now of the last 6 goals. Benfica's actually scored, I don't know how many games now. The last 3-4 games. Benfica's put the ball in the back of the net against Futebol Clube Porto 6 times. Only 2 of them have counted. This happens over and over and over. That fruta fresca has been going around. That shit ain't fresca no more. Está podre. That shit's been going around for 40 years. All right? Podre seu, caralho.
Yeah, no, look, we all know. And I don't think there was anybody surprised by everything that happened.
Now, Shiku said it, and I'm not trying to piggyback on him, but I believe like Shiku felt, we've all felt. As soon as that, it's like when a Benfica play goes to VAR, and I'm not trying to be a sourpuss here because, yes, Benfica over the years has gotten calls, favorable calls. I say this to Portistas and people we talk to all the time and discuss Portuguese football. Yes, I am not naive enough to come on here and tell you on a public format or to tell you in private matter when I'm with you having a cafe that Benfica has never been favored. Absolutely. Every team, unfortunately, every team gets favored. And Benfica's, there's been times, dubious times, where I'm like, come on, man, that shit ain't right. But that being said, I want to see this over and over and over again. Rub it in your face, mud, and just all over your face. This is constant with Futebol Clube Porto. It's the equivalent of going into a bank with a gun made out of soap and no mask and walking out, and still people can't identify you. And they got images of your ass everywhere, cameras, but yet they just keep getting away with murder. And so, yes, Benfica gets favored, but not, I mean, it's never been escaradamente like this, bro. And so,
it's just all the 3 big teams, all of the Tres Grandes get,
they do get favored over the little ones. I agree with that.
I've mentioned this on the show a number of times, man. I think it's instilled in our mentality too, as like a country, povo, that the big teams can't lose against the middle or lower teams. And when that happens, it's like, it's like the Cavaleiros do Apocalypse are coming, it's just nuts. But then when it's the games between us, it's like every single thing is called, man. Like there's people out there that analyze every like piton that hits an ankle, every frame. And then, it all depends on how you take the pictures. Some of them look horrendous.
But you know what, Chris? The thing is that a lot of blame has to be given not only to the league, but also to the media Because in the EPL, all right, and I watch the EPL quite regularly, there's only a certain number of replays that you will be shown, right? In the Portuguese league, they got all these camera angles, fast forward, slow motion, blah, 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 to capture all these things. But when it comes to capturing the right frame and the VAR, they can't get the job right.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Totally wrong. It's the opposite. They have it to catch that frame, to frame it. You get what I'm saying? That's why they have so many of them. It's because they want to frame it.
Man, that was like Inception. That's like a frame within a frame.
It's all mind games. Yes, yeah.
Hey, write the script, yo. Inception.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and look, I'm not saying that if Benfica scores that goal, we would have won that game, but certainly it gives a different tone to the game, and it gives a different approach for Porto, because now Porto has to come out and look for the result.
It's funny. Raining Entertainment is saying out here in the chat, but they can't figure this shit out, but they promote the 5G. I was actually going to say, they actually have people flying in and dropping the ball in the league. Remember the balls flying? They could do all that, but they can't get a video angle. They can't get a VAR decision corrected. It's just, look, bro, they don't get it correct. They don't get it correct, guys. Let's call a spade, because they don't want to.
Somebody wrote it on the chat. Somebody wrote on the chat that they would love to hear the conversation between the refs in the.
They do that in Australia. They do that in Australia.
We say that all the time. We would love to hear it.
Epá, não, temos que foder o Benfica aqui. Não, pera, mais atrás um bocadinho. Não, o Benfica não pode ganhar. Estás maluco, é? Agora está fixe, bora.
O gajo disse €1.000. Não, outra imagem.
Não, ouve lá, tu não eras tu que recebeu um basquete de bananas? Ou queres pêssego? O que é que tu quer?
A meia é branca, a bola é branca, usa o frame que a bola já partiu, confunde-se com a meia, no one's gonna notice.
Man.
It's so obvious. It's such a shame. And then it's mockery, bro. They make fun of us in all these other countries.
They laugh in our faces. On top of it, it's so obvious. And then on top of it, they like you said, they mock us.
Yeah, and then our players, man, you see in the Champions League and Europa League, anything happens, they like raise their hands, like throwing hands in the air. They fall. It's like the national team does it too, man. You know, it's until they start playing another country. Unfortunately,
it has to be a joint effort, and I've been saying that from the federation, from the league, from the media. There has to be something where they could use their power and their influence to really get rid of all this scrutiny that teams are victims of week in, week out, to scrutinize every little single frame, every single just play, man.
Stop it. We got to stop that.
But look, we talked about before the frames and the angles, right? Is it the reverse? Maybe this is the old rabbit out of a hat. They're just smarter than all of us, because they know if não há controversy, não há nada para falar desta liga de merda. So they start all this shit up now. Too. Hey, there's no bad publicity. Hey, they get, at least it's a way for us and the rest of the world to talk about them. Well, Benfica plays against 7.
Can we mention channels here, or is that
you could mention anything.
Man, have you guys watched the game? Let's say if you watch the game on Gold TV in Spanish, let's say, and then
that's my boy. That's my boy Nino.
Nino Torres.
Those guys, sometimes it's almost like you hear them giggling in the back on some of these calls.
It's laughable.
Nino's a good guy.
Yeah, so I'd rather watch him, and if he's one of your buddies, then props to him. He does a great job, man. Like it's just, I love to hear them say things because
unbiased. They're unbiased.
They're unbiased, like eles são imparciais, so they don't.
Sim, mas espera aí.
But they say things like, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with these guys. And then you go watch Sport TV, and it's like these dudes are like, no,
it's like a different game.
But you got listen. You guys are 1,000% correct, right? And I totally agree. Every time you hear a Benfica game on Sport TV, it's ridiculous. But this is why I have to pump the brakes here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the voice of reason. Think about that. That's how crazy this shit's gone. I'm the voice of reason here. That, bro, as bad as it is on those channels, it's just as bad on Benfica TV. That shit's ridiculous. I just want to point that out there. I'm Benfiquista. I'm a diehard. We're diehard Benfiquistas, and I sometimes I want to turn shit off. I mean, we're losing 3-0. Like, 15º canto para o Sport Lisboa e Benfica. Like, bro, you're losing. Like, fucking cares about the 17th corner kick? Like, you act like you're winning something. It's shit's annoying. So I just have to say that as well.
Milton, welcome. We're talking about it right now.
Milton, mega.
The 2 centimeters. It's such a ridiculous thing. And the thing is that, look, I'm a VAR supporter because I know what it adds to the game, and I know how that could be a great tool for referees. But the way it's used in Portugal, and I've always said that, the VAR is great, but it's still going to depend on the guy that's working those angles and making those calls as he's watching. So if he's a crook on the field, he's going to be a crook in the office in front of the monitor. There's no escaping that. So the whole thing, they need to get rid of all these referees. They need to get rid of this pinpoints.
They don't need to get rid of the referees, bro. They need to get somebody to police this shit correctly, Alfred. Because you're not going to just find better referees. You're a referee yourself, right? They need someone to come in transparency, right? As Cristiano mentioned before, as we've all mentioned on the podcast, the Freddies. I think everybody, whether you're Porto, Benfica, Porto, but Sportingista, Portista, whatever the hell club you root for, we want transparency. Let's hear the audio, right? Let's hear the communication between the VAR and the referees. I think that's a step in the right direction, okay? Because now we get to judge, we get to see, because sometimes there's different angles. Like I've often said, and Alfredo, again, you're a referee. I could look at you, right? Back in the days, I could accept that. Alfredo, you know what? What the hell were you? Oh, bro, Chris, I didn't get the angle, bro. There's a guy in my way. I didn't see it the way you saw it. But now, thankfully, right, there's VAR to correct for your lack of angle, right? For your lack of movement on the field as a referee. But somehow, some way, they still miss it. That is manipulation. And we don't mind. I think all of us, in a way, would rather it go back to the way it was before, where there was, look, at least you can fool me. I know it was fixed, but there's that doubt, right?
Tu queres a porrada no estádio, man.
Não quero porrada, mas at least, there's the benefit of the doubt, right? Não vi. It was the plausible deniability. Like, hey, okay, no. Now, how can you tell me that you didn't see it? Well, as you guys mentioned, 50 freaking cameras all the way around. But yeah, you can't see it. No, you don't want to see it. So I think everybody would rather go back to the way it was before, where like, hey, we just got to take your word for it, or transparency. Make everything visible and listenable, whatever, audible for everybody to make their own decisions. And I think that's a step in the right direction. But this league doesn't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
And Milton said something right. It's not the first time that there's a 2 centimeter call. There's been 1 centimeter, 0 centimeters. I mean, all those measurements look the same on the TV to me. I'm like, man, these are some nice rulers that these guys have, man. It's nuts. But you guys know that in the World Cup, that's it, right? It's going to be AI.
Right. That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's going to be AI to do the lines for the offside. I guess you're going to have cameras like either the bird's eye view one and one going up and down. They're
able to do it in tennis. They do it in tennis. They got the AI in tennis, but I just don't see how you do it with a human being, because I could see it in being implanted in your shirt, right? I guess what they're gonna have sensors on both shoulders.
It doesn't have to be like that, Chris. All it has to do is the AI, when it looks at the camera angle and looks at the field, the lines are gonna line up with the markings on the field. So it's going to be the exact thing. There's not going to be a human person setting the lines where it can make a difference, where 2 centimeters is nothing.
So what you're saying is Artur Suarez Diaz is not going to be in the booth?
No.
He's going to lose a job.
It's going to be a computer.
Yeah, he's going to be unemployed, David. He's going to be.
He's not going to be in it. He's got a restaurant in Porto. He's got a bakery or a club in Porto that all the big shots went to inaugurate. So he's going to have a job still.
Yeah, but the problem with the GPS is that the GPS is in one central spot in a player, which is usually their back and between their shoulder blades.
Yes.
So it's hard to tell when you're measuring a shoulder or when you're measuring a foot based on that GPS.
But that's why I said, Alfred, that you're going to have sensors on the shoulders. I mean, they could technically do that. Nowadays, you could put it in the seams. I don't know.
How about having a buffer? Someone suggested be like, from 0 to 5, he's not offside.
I would be okay with that.
There's
a margin for error for everything, right?
Yes.
And
There should be a tolerance.
There's a margin for error. There's got to be a margin for error.
But Dave, if you got the same guys that we had in the booth this weekend, instead of 5, it's 6 centimeters now. Oh shit, it's more than 5.
No, in the law, it's got to be written in the law there that it's got to be 0 to 5 or 0 to 10 centimeters. But
there should be a tolerance, right? A tolerance. Man. And is it really? I agree with you, Cristiano, in terms of the daylight measurement.
I like that one the best.
But certainly, I have to think that if a guy is 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, even 10 centimeters ahead of another guy, that's not really an advantage, I don't think. Like
2 centimeters, no, but 10 is what, 5 inches?
Half a step. I don't even know. But like 5 inches is.
It's how the rule's written, though.
But 5 inches is different than 5 centimeters.
Right, but
I don't know what the hell centimeters are, Dave. We're in America.
Like 10, that's here. Chris is saying 10 centimeters or 12 centimeters.
I have about, I'm 6'2", so that's about almost 2 metros. So just go down there.
No, that's about like 190. Like a metro 90. Luizão like
10 centimeters to inches is about 4 inches.
All right, so go ask Gudinho. He knows the measurements. He was able to figure out the 2 inches with his boy.
The point is...
But even that AI thing, man, it's not going to solve much because some of these countries can't even afford that. I mean, Portugal just played Serbia. They didn't even have goal line technology. The ball was in past the line, and they didn't see that either. And it was more than 2 centimeters.
Yeah, so 5 inches would be 12 centimeters.
Yeah, hey, Dave.
According to what Timo just put on there.
Dave, Reigning Entertainment is saying Arsene Wenger gave you an idea that as long as you're beside the player, you're on only if there's a... Bro, Cristiano Oliveira just said that.
Even is on, right?
Even is on, yeah.
Even that was the
Chris,
old...
what'd you
do? I ain't touched none. We're still live. Yeah, we're still live.
Oh,
you weren't for a bit.
Me?
You popped up on a second screen here.
Yeah, no,
it's the freaking hackers.
Look, the thing is that
we're talking too much. We're talking too much here.
In the EPL, the amount of time that it takes to see what or judge whether a play was on or offside, it's less than a minute. Maybe I would even say 30 seconds. How quick those guys get to it. In Portugal, and going back to the initial comment, how this all started, as soon as you see that long taking, you know they're up to no good. And it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And Benfica has allowed this pouca vergonha to go on. And it's just, I don't know. And I've said here before, if it wasn't for Benfica, the Liga Portuguesa would be the last thing that I would watch.
Yeah, see, let's talk about that rather than the referee. It is what it is, man. The call's been made. Right. I don't want to sit and cry about the referee. But it is true. Benfica does need to, at some point, make a stand. And in particular now, when they're trying to negotiate television rights, and it's like, bro, my man, wake up and smell the salt. Without me, you're worth 2 cents. All right, 2 centimeters. That's what you're worth without me. So, show a little bit more respecting. But at the same time, I don't like that. I don't like that either because I don't think a team, just because they're the biggest team in the country, should get any type of favorable treatment. I just think that they need to be squared down the middle. I want transparency. I want all this shit up in front of all of us. I want all the games to be ref the right way. Forget about o clube é maior do que o pequeno. Bro, let's try to come up with some reasonable refereeing because this shit needs to stop. It's been going on for way too long. You have too many campeonatos being decided on this garbage. There's millions of dollars at stake. There's actually people dying outside the stadium because this shit means something to them. And yet we have Mickey Mouse referees, Mickey Mouse leaders of the Federação running this Mickey Mouse of a league. It's just unacceptable. There's real lives at stake. There's real things that are at stake.
I agree. And here's a one for Nelson that was just saying if it takes longer than 30 seconds, then it's not as obvious as everybody thinks. So, look, like Shano said, it is what it is. And the one thing that they didn't want to happen, or any Benfiquista wanted to happen, was to see Porto celebrate at Estádio Luz. Unfortunately, that's been a reflection of what the season has been domestically for Benfica. Dave had a stat, and that was basically Nelson Veríssimo couldn't win more than two straight games domestically. But that's another story. But in terms of what Benfica's season has been, this is just a reflection. And shame on us that we thought that the players would find some pride and that would dig deep and get the result that we wanted and not have to go through that again, to the humiliation again. But us as fans, I think that we wanted to win that game more than the players did, and that shows what Libori was saying before, that in the 93rd minute it was Darwin and João Mario defending against 3 players from Porto, and João Mario was already at halfway line. He was the one guy that was in the back, and actually Godinho got there at almost at the same time as Darwin. So why couldn't other players get to it? But it's just been the reflection of what we've seen this season in terms of the commitment and the passion and the pride that these players have had. And I know that there's a lot of talk about, not to get off topic here, there's a lot of talk about us signing one of the Horta brothers. And I know Ricardo Horta, and I know that Chris has his own opinion about Ricardo Horta we signing. But
listen, Alfred, I don't mean to cut you off, but we never really, like, qual é que foi o esquema de jogo do Benfica este ano?
Não foi nada.
A tática de jogo. A gente nunca encaixou, bro. We never clicked.
The whole season
in a defined way of playing. It was like, at one point, it was like, bola para frente, corre o Rafa, corre o Darwin.
And just, that was our play.
And make something happen. You know, we didn't have uma definição de jogo. Like, Benfica is playing open wide, cut lines, diagonals. Benfica was playing pelos corredores. Like, you didn't know what we were doing.
The only time Benfica's been successful and when they play their best football all season long. We talked. I mean, I think we've said it a million times. We talked about it last week when we were trying to, do the nossa prognostication para o jogo contra o Porto. Que era, bro, Benfica is at its best when they just sit back, defend, and catch teams on a counter with Rafa on one side, Darwin on the other. That's the only time Benfica's actually played some decent football this year, because every time they've had possession, they've had control of the game, with the exception of touching it around beautifully in their own half. Right? They didn't do shit going forward because there is a tremendous lack of creativity in our midfield forward. As you guys know, a lot of it I mess around with, but a lot of it I mean it as well. Delta Opt has a special talent, but he's a huge roller coaster, up and down. The dude is capable of doing, some fantastic things, and he's capable of doing some horrendous things on a football pitch. And so there is no creativity in the midfield. João Mario's been a dud. With the exception at the beginning of the season, he actually played decent at the beginning, and then obviously reverted back to what we all expected him to be. Weigl is not the type of player that's going to carry a team on his back and organize play and spread it out and open it and dictate how things go. The only other guy that was in there that, again, you've had Paulo Bernardo, way too green at this stage of his career. You've had so many different guys, but yet there is a tremendous lack of creativity, tremendous lack of someone that could organize the play. There is no guy that's going to have a maestro that's going to dictate pace, and you've seen it. You've seen that game after game. Benfica had trouble
but also
creating.
Coaching.
But Alfredo, coaching, look, I mean, it's the obvious, right? We've had, the Mestre da Tática came in and he struggled last year. And when, me, I bought into the whole COVID. I thought it actually played a role in Benfica's disastrous season last year. But this season, obviously, that excuse is out the window, right? That excuse gets thrown out the window. Then Benfica did what they had to do. And I'm still a guy that when you come back to me in 20 years from now and you ask me, Chris, that 2021-22 season, talk to me about it. And my thoughts are going to be, as bad of a job as JJ was doing, I thought it was the way that it happened. The firing him because your inmates are upset at the way that you're running things. I thought that was the wrong message to send to the club at the time. I thought Rui Costa should have just told JJ, look, stick around for another week. We're going to tell everybody que manda aqui somos nós, and then we'll come up with some bullshit excuse to get rid of you. But I thought that was the wrong message to send to the fan base, to send to the team inside the locker room. I just think that the way this whole season has been managed by the powers by those that have the powers, right? It was just, I don't think anything was playing, with the exception of Darwin. I think everything else has been a disaster.
Man, yeah. I wasn't happy with the second coming of Jesus either. But I even felt worse when the way that they let him go mid-season. I don't like that. It worked once with Lage that we actually made it happen, and he did something. And you know what? Éramos felizes e não sabíamos. Some of us at least. But now, like, you can't do this. You can't hype up a man for coming again. Give him, like, all the money he wants. He brings in all these players, and a lot of them weren't even him. It wasn't his choice of players. It was something in there or someone that brought all these guys, and then expect a miracle in the first season, and then COVID hit, and I understand. But then in the second season, I mean, you don't even give the dude a chance. Man, let him finish. Then let him go. Look at what it resulted. It worked well in the Champions League, but man, we got lucky on some of those games, guys. I'm sorry, man. I mean,
no, we did, and the way we set up and Vrisim set up, which is a small team mentality, kind of played in our favor. The Barcelona game, the Ajax game, which I think we were fortunate to come out of that game or that fixture with the win. But certainly it played into it played into the mentality of the team. It played into the mentality, even the fans. I remember talking to Hugo and Cristiano and saying, what the hell is Rui Costa doing appointing Veríssimo until the end of the season?
He waved the white flag, bro.
Right off the bat.
Right
that's the tone that you're setting for this team. You're telling this team, this guy is just going to help the boat float all the way to the end of the season. There's going to be no extra rowing, nothing else. He's just going to keep it afloat until the end of the season, and let's just get through this. And that was the wrong message.
I don't even think
the team.
I don't even think that was a message. We're going to keep it afloat. I just thought, look, estamos fudidos, olha. This guy's going to drive the bus with the 4 flat tires, and he's going to get it to the finish line.
And no disrespect to Veríssimo, man. No disrespect to him. I mean, he works for the club, so
right.
Yeah,
no, I can't blame him. Obviously, right?
No, I don't blame him. I blame the powers that be that put him in that position.
He has his limitations that we saw already when he took over for Lage. We saw his limitations then.
Yeah.
Why did anybody think that now was different? Was it because he was having a good year with the B team?
Yeah.
Playing the second division?
Yeah. I know a lot of people that thought that. But they were drinking the Kool-Aid.
That's the tone that you set right away. And look, I wasn't really a fan of it, but I accepted it. But I also understood the message that was coming out from the directive and from Rui Costa saying, this is not ambitious at all. To appoint this guy to lead the team to the end of the season. And somebody had Bruno just said that we were 4 points behind when JJ left. Right? So I don't know whatever the difference is.
It was 4 with that game going against Porto when we lost like a couple of days later and became a 7-point lead. But we're still alive in the Taça Portugal. We're still alive in the Champions League. And I believe, we know we were still alive in the Taça de Cerveja. So we're still technically in all 4 competitions
we were out of the Taça Portugal because that was the game. That was JJ's.
No, we played Porto.
No, that was JJ
got fired.
I thought we played them after. I'm sorry. Then I apologize.
No, we did. Yeah. We played them before and after.
No, but I thought the Taça Portugal game was. I don't know.
It was before. The Taça Portugal was before, and he got fired in between the 2 fixtures, between the Taça Portugal and the Liga game. But certainly that was the wrong message to send. But again, it is what it is. There's guys questioning where's the audit. His response is, what audit? Do you know will you know what an audit is? And whatever, man. I'm just so fed up with this season and what this team has done that I can't wait for the next season to start. But as I said last podcast, it's going to be a rough season. Get ready to be in another rough season because I don't think
why. You're so pessimistic, bro.
For as much credit or
where's Carlos?
Expectation that I have from Roger Schmidt, right? I think that it's going to take a while to clean some of that balneario, some of that locker room, and also change a little bit of the mentality in these players.
His contract's what, guys? 3?
2 with an option.
2 with an option.
Plus, yeah.
2 with an option.
Man,
but I think, look, you need at least 5 guys, by my count, that are going to be straight starters, that are going to walk into the starting 11. At least 5 of those guys.
See,
we have the power to do that.
Yes, Alfred. You put a freaking cone in the middle of the field. It might be better than some other options we have today. I mean, it's not. Look. To actually add to this team is not the most difficult thing to do. And then on top of it, we are playing in a campeonato full of monkeys, right? Porto isn't exactly lighting anybody up. I mean, with exception of such make it in sport. So, I mean, it can be done now. We have to be smart. We have to attack the market early on. We have very important games in the Champions League for the playoffs and all that crap starting in July, right? We can't be going into, just like it happened with the first year with JJ, right? They anticipated that they were going to get through PAOK and there was a bunch of signings lined up. And if we made the champ, we're going to sign these guys. No, we have to go from day one. When we report July 4th or whatever it is, that week we report to preseason training camp, right? Benfica has to have the core of their team already in camp. It can't be August and here we are negotiating. Oh, yeah, we need a left back. Like shit, we've needed a left back for a year. We need another. You know what I mean?
Chris,
like
you needed a right back for years.
But Chris, the other thing is that not a lot of players will. If there's players on the fence to sign for your team, good players, they might wait until you make that Champions League group stages before they'll make a commitment to you.
You're right, but Alfredo, you are 1,000% correct. But those players are the. I don't want to do this to myself, but I'll do it. Are the Cavani's of the world. Right? Those guys got tons of stature. Those guys could pick and choose wherever they want to go. The rest of these other guys, yes, they're still going to be good players, but you have to tell them, look, bro, you worried about us making the Champions League? Yeah, claro. Oh, motherfucker, join. Help us win. Let's make sure that we're there. You get what I'm like? I think Benfica has to take care of business early. They have a month. We have one more game in between the end of May to the first week of July. They have a month. And obviously, July is the first week. Obviously, the contracts end June 30th. You get what I'm saying. But they have a month to take care of their business. And I think the most important thing, if you were going to have some type of turnaround this season, because I actually think, Alfredo, that is a lot more doable than what you're thinking, right? It has to be done early. Schmidt has to get these guys in camp. We use camp, whatever American term, but preseason.
The league starts early too, Chris.
I know. That's what I'm saying. League, Champions League, everything. So these guys have to be in second week in July, the latest. And now they get a chance to work with him. They get a chance to understand what he's asking of players because he is a very demanding coach. For those of you that are not familiar with Roger Schmidt, he's a guy that plays high-paced football, attacking football, which we're all going to like. Tremendous pressure up and down the field. The one thing I can tell you about Roger Schmidt's team, I can guarantee you this right now, is I can't tell you if we're going to play the best, we're going to practice the best football in Portugal, but I can tell we're going to be the most fit team in Portugal. These guys are going to be run until they're freaking drop. Everybody's going to be in shape. So it's going to be very difficult to have a key piece arrive August 13th, just to pick my birthday, August 13th, when everybody's been there since July 4th, and now you expect this guy to come in and fit like a glove. It's not, no, Benfica has to, and I think, look, so far, they've already guaranteed themselves a couple of signs, even though the media is like, oh, the Benfica's not going. These things are done already. So they already have a couple of guys that they've already signed up and took care of business that we know day one, they're going to be in camp. So it's imperative that they do that. If they want to, Alfredo, have a turnaround and not have this disaster season repeat itself once again.
No, look, I agree with everything that you said. Now, whether Benfica does that in terms of the directive, in terms of Rui Costa, I have a lot of questions about that, whether he's capable of doing that or not. But in theory, what you're saying should be what we need and what needs to happen. Now, whether or not Benfica has the power to close on some deals, whether Benfica has the power to lure some of these guys in with the fact that we are not sure, we got to play 4 games before we make it to the Champions League. That's a totally different story, man. But I do understand so whether we still need to sign 3 star players, that the core of that team should be in camp from day one, because anyone that joins after that will have to do a lot of work to catch up physically to the guys that have been there from the first day.
I don't want to do all the talking. I want to let these guys talk. But Alfredo, we have to keep something in mind, right? Not every signature that Benfica brings in, not every transfer that comes in has to be 20, 25 million. Benfica could sign 10 players at $7 million each, right? It's 70 million, which is right there in their budget. and they could all 7 make a huge contribution to this team. So I'm just saying there's different ways. You just have to scout. You have to identify the players, and you have to make sure that these guys can all add to the roster. If you're looking at 20,
Chris, you don't feel like we have enough players in our league, in each one of these teams, that we can go fish one?
No, that's what I'm saying, Chris. So you don't have to spend $25 million on it. You got Lincoln at Santa Clara that would absolutely work on this team right now. You have Musrati's a little expensive. Musrati would, but he likes Sangaroo as well. There's gonna be a bunch of players. Ricardo Horta's already joined. I'm a little worried about that. Musa, I'm a little worried about that. But there's going to be a bunch of players exiting. There's going to be a bunch of players coming in. But again, not every player has to be $25 million. And as a matter of fact, one of the last $22 million players we spent, he's been absolute cheeks. So it doesn't necessarily mean that those guys work instantly anyways. But I just wanted you to keep that in mind, Alfredo. We could spend $70 million on 7 different players, or 10. You know what I mean?
Is the Jota coming back from Celtic?
Nah, the Jota's foregone conclusion. Forget about Jota. I mean, there's a chance because they're only 70%. But I think they're going to do everything they can to exercise his option. And
I've been following the game, man.
But look, even Jota. Where's Jota mind at? Does he really want to come back to Benfica, or if he has a decent proposition or a decent offer from a team in England, regardless of the stature of the team in England, does he take that instead? Because I think that the British game is a game that suits Jota more than the Portuguese game. Is that the decision that he makes?
It's not a British game. It's that 4th-tier league suits him a lot better than the Portuguese league.
Yeah, but he's playing, man. He's playing, you know.
He's playing and his confidence is up.
Yeah, he's playing. Hey, someone just made a good point, Milton. We got Everton and Porto got Pepe. Pepe was Everton's replacement after we got Everton, right? And then Porto got Pepe too.
Yeah. Apparently, that was the other guy that was on the Tavanacalha, if Everton wouldn't work.
It looks like it worked out for somebody.
But look, we will have a chance to talk more about that next week. We'll do our buy, keep, loan segment as we wrap up the season for the podcast next week. So
we might actually get our producer in the building for that one.
Don't forget to tune in for that. But certainly, Dave, I'm going to let you talk a little bit, man. And I know that it's been a bittersweet season for you. I know that you like coming on here and talking Benfica, but every time we come on here, it seems that we're all miserable, and I think that you're no exception. And you've had your fair shares of letdowns and heartbreaks with Benfica this season.
100%. Like I've told you guys in the past here, it seems like it's a job, it's a duty to be watching Benfica this season. It's not even that I get any passion or get any happiness of watching this team. I watch it so I can be informed here on the podcast, but it's been a job, it's been a duty to watch this team here each and every week. And like I said, I can't stress enough that only one more game to go, one more podcast to do. And I think like you said earlier, Alfredo, this break here is gonna be good for everybody, and it's gonna be a quick break though, because like we've said here, season's gonna be starting earlier, so the preseason's gonna be starting. So we'll be back in no time. But God, let's just bury this season and get it over with.
Hey,
Alfredo, I say we just
be on live TV, man. Having to, I'd go in there. Like, can we get a weekend that Portugal plays so I can?
Yeah, usually we're upset when the international break, because that's when Benfica is rolling, you know, and then the international break comes and puts a damper on it. But God, we could have used a little bit more international breaks this season.
Hey,
Alfredo, I was gonna tell you, we should just do a show divulging Dave's messages in our chat. I think that'd be entertaining, because I mean, Dave has a whole lot to say. Comes on here, he stays quiet, he just lets me. Gives me all the airtime, but
you don't want to discourage that. I want Dave to continue sending those sour.
That's how events.
That's how events. You suckered me into. I ended up putting the game back on because you said that Benfica had scored, so I put it on, and then you
said tell me, just let me know what the final score is, and I said it's going to be 1-0 Benfica.
Oh,
and
I
you
thought you said don't worry,
scored.
it's already 1-0. Yeah, and then I put it on, and I saw Porto just in time for Porto to score on the counter.
And what I say, Dave? What I say?
Well, Chris, I can't keep up with.
I said, don't worry, they'll figure out a way to lose. Something along those lines.
It looked like one of those comedy skits, man. You're watching it, they score, you're like, yes, no. No,
no, that's the crazy. But Chris, that's sadly, in football nowadays, that's everyone's reaction. You get a goal, you're like, and then you have to wait because of VAR. Like it stops dead on your tracks.
Do the evolution, man. It's gotten to that point, you know.
Yeah. So Musa. I think Musa is a done deal. I think Orta is a done deal also. I know that Cristiano.
Now we have 12 strikers outfielder. How many do we have up front now?
Get rid of Seferovic. He's got market in Turkey. Everybody has market in Turkey for some reason.
If you're 30 plus, you've got market in Turkey.
Turkey's the USA.
Come to Besiktas.
Turkey's the new MLS. No, look, I can't wait for next season to start. Dave, give us some stats on this game so we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, for sure. Not any good stats here, but it is what it is.
Skip the goals, Dave. Skip the goals.
Benfica now ends the season with 6 defeats across all competitions at Estádio da Luz. So they lost to Portimonense, Bayern, Gil Vicente, Sporting, Liverpool, and Porto this season at home equals their worst record since 96-97. So that's right in the dead of the Vietnam era. Benfica with their 6th loss in league competition this season, their worst record since 2010-2011, where they lost 7 in the league. Benfica's record at the new Estádio da Luz against Porto, 6 wins, 7 draws, 9 defeats. So they have not been kind to us at home. We've now failed to beat Porto in the last 9 meetings against them. That's ridiculous as well.
I'm getting ahead.
And with that loss, it guarantees that Benfica's never won more than 2 games in a row with Nelson Veríssimo.
Dave, you're making me want to go drink.
Yeah.
Listen, Dave,
this was full when the podcast started, boys.
Quick question. Benfica is going to finish the season with more road victories than home victories, correct?
Yes.
I can pull that up quickly.
Yeah. I think it's 12-10. Well, they might actually, if they win the last one, I think it's 13 victories, I believe, on the road.
You know what? And something just popped in my mind, man. Now that we're talking about Porto game, the other game we played against Porto, man, the VAR again, that Fabio Vieira handball,
never works.
God,
Darwin got his ankle chopped too with Cardoso.
Bleeding, nothing. Yeah. Handball adjusted, nothing. Yeah. 2 centimeters in this game. I mean, these guys pissed me off.
We all know. Unfortunately, this is something that's been going on for years. So we've kind of been a little immune. I don't want to say immune because we still suffer as a result, right? But nothing surprises us anymore. Nothing that this league does, and what happens with this refereeing, and the same teams always being favored in crucial moments doesn't surprise us anymore. Nothing.
Across the board, man. The officials have been horrible.
Horrible this season.
The judge has been horrible. I think didn't Godinho in this game also whistle stop the game on a player that fell outside? He was outside the line. Wasn't Otavio?
No, it was the one. It was the one where Benfica's on a counter.
It was an advantage play.
Yep. Benfica's on a counter, and he stops to give Guricic a yellow. He could have very well let the play go on. Benfica's on a counter. They got a man advantage, right? Very easily going on 4v2, whatever the hell it was the other way. Could have very well let the play go on. Yeah. Once the play ends, whether it's in a goal, foul, whatever the hell it is, come back and give Guricic, whatever his name is, give him a yellow. Keep it moving. But yeah, these amateur, because that's what these are. These are amateur errors by referees, and yet. These amateur errors always happen in a game like this and always favoring the same team. It's just magical. It's magic.
Yeah. No, look, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm banging my head against the wall every time we talk about these referees and about this league and everything.
Alfredo, did you see what Bruno Gil wrote? He said, I feel like a Sportingista, pero one que
Well, and crying about the refereeing on this podcast. I think we've done more crying on this podcast.
3 years now that we haven't won the league. I was getting used.
We haven't won a trophy in 2 or 3 years.
2 years?
3.
3.
3, right?
A trophy? No, what campeonato? We
this
haven't
is
won a
Porto
campeonato.
second, and then Sporting one in between.
Yeah, but he's just talking about a trophy in general.
Oh, a trophy. Well, it was the last one might have been a Supertaça at the beginning of the 2019 season. That was the last one.
We lost that too. I know, Moraes. I love you, brother.
Come on, bro.
Vai comer ovos moles. Vai para ver comer ovos moles.
O Pizzi nem joga na Turquia, pá. Estás maluco, caralho. Foda-se. He says everyone
be careful
wanted
what
to
you
get
say
rid of,
about PZ. He's
to
watching
get rid
right
of
now.
Pizzi and Almeida, and without SLB, he's just scrap. Come on, bro. No, he's not. Come on.
Bro, you have to understand, Mo is the leader of the fan club. You know what I mean?
What fan club is that?
Do Pizzi.
Pizzi fan club. I guess.
Pizzi did a lot for our team, and so did André Almeida, man.
But not in his past couple of years.
No, and it's fine because players age, but they have to realize within them that it is time to go.
Yeah.
At some point they have to realize that it's time to go.
Yep. The last I heard, it looks like André Almeida is on his way out. I certainly hope so. And I don't.
Hey, listen, these guys are gonna. We sit here, and I've said this already numerous times. We sit here, we crap all over these guys, but yet they should have a place in the museum, the Benfica Museum,
and they will. And they will.
I mean, they're the first. Like they're one of what? They're two. Obviously, those two guys, but whatever. Each player is one of 5 or 6 in the history of the club to have won the what do you call it? The cuatro, the tetra.
Yep.
I mean, but as Mo says, those guys played a huge role in Benfica's prior success. And again, we have to tip our cap and phenomenal, keep it moving. But in today's or the last couple of seasons, in today's world, they've been it's not even about the fact that they haven't been productive. It's apparently their professionalism, the way they carry themselves, the way they manipulate other people's minds in the locker room, the way they get rid of, coaches, so that's where I think a lot of people have fallen sour on them. But again, in life, everything gets its due course, right? Everything. Bro, hoje estás aqui, amanhã não estás. It's kind of like that old line, right? It's sad, but in sports more so than in real life, which is, bro, I need you while I can use you. Once I can't use you, and particularly in sports, if you're not putting up as much as the guy next to you, look, if there's some daylight between the two of them, you're going to be the guy sitting in the back. But unfortunately at Benfica, in the last couple of years, and I think that's where a lot of the hate comes, is that when there was actually separation and daylight between those guys and other guys, they were still getting the call. And I think that's where I think a lot of people have kind of, started coisa cheirar mal.
Todo princípio tem fim, man. And sometimes you got to turn the page. But credit to Almeida, we never got it right back, so he was playing.
You're right.
Guys, after Smith, who?
That was it?
He had naked pictures. He had naked pictures of
nobody else, man. And Grimaldo stayed, for this long, but dude, I mean, he never had a sub either.
Yeah. This upcoming Friday, Benfica will play their last game of their season up at Passos Ferreira, Capital do Móvel, Friday, 3:15 local. I mean, they're in such a hurry to end the season that they moved the game up to Friday. Just
need
finish
some
it already.
on Friday.
Hey, but
Friday
look,
night.
but you keep talking about they don't do anything well. Hey, that's good. Get me out of my misery, right? Tenho fim de semana para relaxar.
Yeah,
Chris, they only announced that recently, though. We've already banged on our table here. Come on, that they got to release the schedules ahead of time for people to make their plans, and they only released that, I believe, yesterday. So
yeah, these players need to go on vacation pronto.
No, not vacation. They need to go get a U-Haul.
The schedule comes out the whole season. You know when the games are going to happen.
Well, in Portugal?
No, you don't.
No, not in Portugal.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
The EPL you do.
Yeah,
the EPL you do.
And most, logical leagues have.
But here's the thing. You guys got to keep this in mind. I do agree. I agree that there should be a set date. I do. But you also have to you have to remember this as well. The EPL doesn't change the scheduling because obviously it's already set in stone. But they have so many teams, so much power that they don't really care about how they participate and how they do in the European competitions. In Spain, they wait till the very last second to tell you it's a weekend because they want to favor this Real Madrid, even though they got crazy power, Real Madrid and Barcelona. And same thing with the Portuguese teams, right? They don't want Benfica playing on Wednesday and then playing on Saturday and then playing on Tuesday. So in a way, a lot of that is done to favor our domestic teams. Obviously, we don't like it, right? We want to have that set schedule. It looks Mickey Mouse, but there is a theory behind that madness, honestly. That's the reason why they don't do it, because they're able to help out teams. Benfica plays on Tuesday, and then, when they're going through that rough stretch for Porto, Sporting, in European competition, they'll come back and play on Monday. So they try to give these guys a breather. And so when in today's world, fans complain about players never getting a break, there's too many games, the league is actually doing something to protect the players, and we're bashing him for it. So I just, again, I'm the voice of reason. I'm just trying to point that out.
Even on weeks that are no
seeing those weeks, yes,
Alfredo.
Then you're right.
Still delays in publishing the schedule.
No, again, they could do a better job, but I'm not saying that what they do throughout the whole year is correct. I'm just saying that there's a reasoning behind that during those times. But now, like you said, when there is nothing, like in January, December, sometimes you got Taça da Liga games, right? What are you doing? You know what I mean? Why are you doing this? Just come out with a set schedule. I agree with you.
Yeah, so Paços Ferreira comes up this Friday. I don't have much. I think both Benfica and Paços Ferreira are already set. I don't know if Paços Ferreira playing for anything. They're in 10th place, correct, Dave? Paços Ferreira?
They are in 10th place there, and yeah, they can move up and move down slightly, but it's not going to bring them into a European spot, and they're not going to get relegated.
They're staying in the league.
That's it. Last, Dave, you want to do the stats, or you want me to do them?
Why don't you take it off from here, Alfredo?
Yeah, historically, 45 wins, 5 draws, 4 defeats in the previous 54 meetings between Paços Ferreira and Benfica. Last 10, 9 wins for Benfica, 1 draw. Paços is currently 10th, as we mentioned, with 38 points from 9 wins, 11 draws, and 13 losses. Paços Ferreira, last 5 games against Paços Ferreira, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses. No, last Paços Ferreira games that they played for the league. 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses. So, but for a lot of these teams, like Paços Ferreira, the objective is really to mid-table and not struggle to fight for promotion or to stay on. That is their goal. But certainly,
their goal is to sell tickets so they can make some money.
And when they play Benfica, it's their Super Bowl.
Again, so super expensive. I hope that people just boycott this game.
Why is it? What is $30? $30.
That's what I heard.
That's super expensive.
€30. Yep.
Alfredo, se tu não tens dinheiro para comer, não vas à bola.
Vai comer.
Vai comer, pá.
Oskin, compra o jantar, não vais ao futebol.
Yeah.
Even those bifanas by Estádio da Luz are expensive now, man. Like 3 years ago when I was there, I was like, damn, man, this thing's got expensive.
Yeah.
But $30 is pushing it too, man. I mean, you've watched games for like 15 euros, 10 euros.
Come on, man. Against Paços Ferreira.
Hey, Chris, you go watch the Reggie Bulls and you pay $50 a ticket to watch the Reggie Bulls. Come on, $30 is to watch my Benfica.
No, that includes parking.
No, parking is more.
Just the parking is $20.
Yeah, just the parking is $20.
Unless you live down neck and you walk to the field.
Man, you got to park in the
You might get jacked though. Between the wall crossing the bridge, you might get robbed. But if you make it to the stadium, you'll be all right.
Bougie, it's bougie now in Harrison, man. It's bougie over there.
I ain't say Harrison. I said Newark.
Newark too. You see all these buildings coming up?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see the sky anymore from my house.
It's true. Over there on Union Street.
Like, what's going on over here?
Yeah. I don't have much else to say, Chris.
Vamos ganhar ao Paços? Go.
Does it really matter?
That's what I was gonna say. For those of you that want to see kids play all day, just promote the U19 team. Everybody, bora, foda-se. Joga todos.
What? Sign them all up. Yo, put them playing that game.
That's
it. I think that Andre Almeida will get a run out for his.
Capitão.
Starting.
What are they going to do? The honor guard for him?
And he's gonna bring the thing with the
Galhardet.
The Galhardet. Yeah, Capitão, mustache, Ali Pintillo. Guess.
Yeah.
He should get it. He should.
Last time he played, he had all black hair, man. I just saw him the other day warming up and we were celebrating with Darwin. It's like all white. I'm like, damn, time has passed.
Time's rough, yeah. But dude, he should get like Benfica has to remember. Benfiquistas, we have to remember right? That in the past, your contribution was very helpful, and look, we got a lot of success out of your country. So you can't just go out there and boot a guy. Look, it is what it is. If it is his last game, applaud him, thank him for his service.
Yeah.
Não deixa a porta bater. But you can't be, you have to show some class. You have to show some class.
Dave, put up some questions so we could spend a little bit more.
Well,
time
didn't you have questions for Cristiano that you were going to ask before the podcast here about
more questions from me?
No, the other Cristiano that we were going to
Ronaldo?
ask him.
You already did that. We talked about his role at SIC International.
No, but we didn't ask Chris. Talk to us, man. Talk to us. You're a guy that you're very involved in the community in Newark. You're a guy that helps the youth out a lot.
Ironbound strikers.
You're a huge Benfiquista.
The old school strikers.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. If people want to contribute to some of the things that you're associated with, where could they find you? Give us a little bit of that, please.
Man, I've been involved in the community for a long time with sports and, teaching. I'm a high school teacher around the neighborhood, not in the Ironbound, but at Science Park, started coaching there. My first real experience with football in high school turned out pretty good. It went well. And I just started getting involved in the community, man. I love soccer. I love football, watch it all day long. It's the only sport I really watch. I watch nothing else, man. Soccer from everywhere. And I just got involved, with the kids. Coach my son, got involved with the Ironbound Soccer Club. Super cool people, and just been getting involved over here in the community and doing things. We're going to play this massive league like the Northeastern Academy League, which is the next step for MLS Next. So we're going to be traveling, man, New York State, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and just seeing how it happens. It's crazy how, you never thought you were going to do this. E agora estás aqui a treinar esta rapaziada toda. And it's definitely sometimes easier to criticize a coach. We always say that coaching is a matter of opinion, Like, como é que este gajo substitui aquele? Como é que aquele gajo faz isto? But being on the other side, seeing how practices go, sometimes I even look at the decisions that these coaches make and I say, man, maybe this guy nos treinos está a jogar para caraças, and let's see how it goes. Yeah, we have to have license, Raining Entertainment, to be coaching and being around kids and background checks and everything.
Yeah.
So nada de pancadarias no recorde ou no cadastro.
Yep. I think rec leagues, you don't need a license, but for travel, you definitely need to, even if it's just a basic license. And safe sport, I think it's something that referees have to go through.
Yeah,
also.
And we have to do that too. The whole safe sport courses,
safe sport and background checks. When you're around kids, man, over here in the U.S. especially, they take they pay a lot of attention to that. They give a lot of attention to that to make sure that the kids are looked after properly, to make sure that the kids are treated properly, and there's no predators, trying to take advantage of kids. Obviously, it's very Chris. I'm saying that, but this is extremely important, man.
I have to do it every year, man.
I have to do it every year. I got to do a background check, and I got to do a safe sport. And that with that safe sport, it talks about bullying. It talks about any sexual harassment, inappropriate behavior around kids. There's a lot of attention given to that by not only by the Federation of the United States, but I think in every single sport, there's a lot of thought that gets put into that to make sure that the kids are in a safe environment. And you hear shit all the time.
And when I said
gymnasts and shit like that.
When I said for this, it wasn't criticizing that. It's just more of a shock. Like, we live in such a cockeyed world that now you actually have to, these are things that, you just be a good guy, show up, coach kids, go home, buy them some pizza. But nowadays, like you said, man, it's just so crazy that you actually have to have these classes, and it's a crazy freaking world.
Safe sport is also the concussion protocol and how to identify the signs for concussion. I mean, look, it's for something that it's kids playing, and it's an amateur thing because nobody's really making money professionally. They put a lot of thought and detail and emphasis on the kids being safe around.
It's almost like, and what Alfredo's saying is right. It almost sometimes I feel they even put more emphasis on like safety and like protocol rather than knowledge of coaching and especially at this younger age, you know. But I mean, I don't mind doing it. Obviously, I want to know that I'm around, that even the people around me coaching the other kids are legit and good to go, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you see in youth sports the way that some adults talk to kids, man, or parents too, you know, and it's like, wow, like a lot of
bro. I guess gone are the days of Cristiano Oliveira playing soccer as a 12-year-old, and it's 23 degrees outside, and the goalie's kicking a rock up in the air, and you're coming up and headering that rock all the way back, and maybe that's why I have concussion problems nowadays. I don't know.
Dude, you never headed a ball in your life. What are you talking about?
That's maluco.
There's also rules on that now, man. You can't head a ball until you're U12.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Bro, we did it. I mean,
11 and under, you can't head a ball. Dave, put out some questions, man. Let's have some fun with the Freddies.
Hey, Reigning Entertainment. His daughter plays for Ironbound. He's from you probably know him, Chris. Yeah, that's what he says. His daughter plays for Ironbound. He's from North Arlington, Queen of Peace territory, Chris.
Reigning Entertainment or Red Baron?
Oh shit, my bad. Red Baron.
Reigning Entertainment.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Reigning Entertainment is like in...
What age does she play?
He's in Montreal, Toronto. He's laughing at Dave because his Maple Leafs lost, so I don't know. But my Yankees won. He did, Dave.
Yankees won. Maple Leafs won.
I
don't know. We don't have any question. I was putting up
whatever
the
comments
here.
finish with a question mark. That's the ones you put, Dave.
Oh shit! Is that how it works?
Yeah. Let me give you that pointer.
Ignore Kevin because there's no Bruno up here, so I don't know.
Is Ristic any good? I don't know who Ristic is, to be honest with you.
Ristic is a left back. É de graça, então não deve ser grande coisa. É fantástico.
Speech, fantastic, yeah.
Fantastic, yeah. Cristo, yeah. É primo do Cristo que jogava no Barcelona.
It's just like those people talking about that center back, that Sporting guy. Like, oh, ouvi dizer que é bom jogador.
Isn't that a mountain? St. Jude or something? No, St. Jude is a foundation for kids, right?
Yeah.
You donate. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Will PT agree to terminate? Sure.
I
think PT ends up at the Braga or...
Estás maluco, Alfredo. Ele não fica em Portugal. Ele não fica em Portugal.
No. Or he could go to the MLS.
Red Bulls.
No, he's not going to MLS. He's going to go back to Turkey. He's going to
make those types of purchases.
He's going to go to Greece.
It's sad to watch these games. I'm not even going to get into that.
Yeah. With no Darwin and Grimaldo and a new coach, can we qualify for the Champions League? Milton, I think it goes back to what Cristiano was saying. If we have the core of players, and during that time, from the start of the preseason to the first official game of the season, I think that we have a good chance of doing that.
Oh, Chris, o Milton é aqui da nossa zona?
No, Milton is...
Oh, because he gave Chris a big shout out. I thought they knew each other. My bad. Patrick, he's in LSU territory. You think Darwin is staying? Patrick, I don't know. Alfred, you want to answer that? Because I got too many thoughts.
Dave, put it up, Dave.
I don't want to share.
And
if Darwin, it's the very last one, Dave. I'm sorry.
You think Darwin is staying?
If between 50 75 mil come through, he's not staying.
Yeah,
he's getting more than that.
I don't think it's up to his...
Yeah, but look what Harlan went for today.
What did he go for?
Yeah, but
is that public?
75. But dude, Haaland, guys, hold on, calm. Haaland had a clause, so when it's listen, Dortmund when they signed them, him and his agent, they knew what they were doing. They kept a very low. I mean, it's high, but you know what I'm saying, because the guy could go for 150 easily, but they kept a low clause, so therefore that's why. So you can't compare Darwin. I believe Darwin goes north of 80. Now the decisions are going to have to be made by Benfica.
80. Ooh.
Yeah, I think he goes north of 80. But the decisions, somebody with deep pockets. I think Benfica is going to have to make a decision.
Fuck no.
Benfica has to make
from there. Sorry, Chris.
If Benfica is able to, some way, somehow, sell the likes of Gonçalo Ramos, you're going to get a couple of bucks, a couple of singles from Grimaldo transfer. I know some people don't want to hear it, but maybe Weigl goes, right? It's going to be a nice chunk of change. And they're able to hold on to Darwin and build around him and have Darwin kick off the season in the way that he finished it, right? And have Darwin go to the World Cup in Qatar and play in these brand new air-conditioned stadiums. It's going to be very interesting. In November to December, and he tears it up. Benfica's going to get close to double if he's able to stay healthy next offseason. Now, it is a huge risk. You have the $1 million winning ticket on your hand, and you just waving as he's playing. You're waving it, and at any moment that shit could go flying out of your hand. And so it's going to be a serious game of poker. Pergunta se eu estou explicando, depois manda
but that you're extended. You're going to be here till midnight.
Why did you mention those new air-conditioned stadiums? Is going to make a difference on.
Yeah, it's going to make a difference.
Man,
what's everyone's take on Mari Goats or Roamers? I take them.
Oh, please.
Libario. You take Goats or no?
For what?
Depends on the
What
salary.
do you mean for what? Like for what price?
And for how much?
$4 million.
Only 4?
Only 4. That's his clause.
How much did my take cost?
7.
Then I guess I take Goats on that.
You just answered your own question.
You know.
What's the next one?
It's a tough one.
It's pretty much it. Everyone's.
I think Timo, they're talking 2025 from Barca for Grimaldo. I think that if we could lower that price if they put Trincão in a deal. I'd take Trincão with no issues.
Shit. Yeah, hell yeah. This reigning entertainment knows how to get to my heart.
Patrick Swolford, is Vertonghen leaving? Possible. I think Vertonghen maybe ends up at the MLS. Every player ends up in the MLS because they can't play anywhere. I know there was a rumor that he might go to Turkey.
He's a well-respected guy. He'll most likely wind up finishing out at home.
Big transfer, guys. The big transfer window this season, dudes. It's going to be winter after the World Cup.
After the World Cup, yeah.
Or a lot of teams may anticipate the World Cup and buy early, and hoping that the horse that they bought are going to do well in the World Cup, and it's going to value itself.
Oh, that's a gamble, man. You know the way money is now.
But it's also a gamble to go into a bidding war after the World Cup for a player that you could have bought maybe for a little bit less.
I can see it happening, man.
Not a lot. There's not a lot of movement in that January transfer window because it doesn't give guys the proper time to adapt. It's a huge gamble. They'll probably line up a lot of the signatures going into the summer, but I just don't see that huge guy will have 20, 30 players. No, it's not going to. You're going to have 1 or 2. You know what I mean? You're going to have those types of guys, but it's not going to be.
Prices for the winter. It's going to be inflated this year, I think.
Yeah, well, for sure, because of the World Cup. Yeah, Kevin, I think that Trincão from Grimaldo, man, I'll take that all day. All day. Even if it's an even swap.
Who's that? Trincão for Grimaldo all day?
I heard more Rafa for Trincão with Traore getting involved there.
Rafa going away.
Yeah, but
Rafa to Barcelona.
Rafa to Wolves.
Dave.
Rafa to Wolves.
But Trincão doesn't belong to Wolves.
I know, Trincão still belong, but he's talking about Traore goes to Barca, Trincão to Wolves, but then Wolves doesn't exchange with Benfica. Hey, it's kind of like the Neres thing. Benfica does the Galatasaray, or not Galatasaray, is it? No, Shakhtar. Shakhtar doesn't have to pay Benfica for Pedrinho, and they give him Neres. It's kind of like that. And Neres ain't going back anyway.
Is a done deal, Chris?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of. I mean,
is that all the questions, dude?
It's going to be an interesting season.
Rain Entertainment made a point before. He said if it was up to him, he'd go after Isco. His contract expires after the end of the season. I mean, this guy knows how to get to my heart.
It's no é carne para os nossos dentes.
It's too. I mean, I would all day, every day.
Yeah.
Hey, what if Vinicius didn't get hurt? Would you take him back in Benfica?
Vinicius?
From PSV.
Yeah, he just got hurt last week.
Well, that's what he's saying. If he didn't get hurt,
he's coming from, or he's at a team where their former coach. So where does that leave him? If
he wasn't
playing.
Alfred, but no so. That was, you got to take into account. Based on what you've seen this year, shit, of course, I'd take Vinicius all day. He'd be an upgrade over. I mean, so.
The season he left, he was your lead scorer.
Yes, he was.
And then the lead scorer from the other season, Šferović, was on the bench the whole season.
Rain Entertainment is smoking some good stuff.
Ish.
They're saying Isco's salary would be under $100K a week. A week, maybe. No, but even then, he's going to make more than that. Isco's going to make more than that.
Did he even play this year too much, Isco?
Not a lot. Nope. I love him. If there's a player that...
Yeah, I found one.
Go ahead.
Found the picture. Question. Kevin asks, "Do you guys think that the young kids will get a run out?" The last
We
game.
said before, promote the whole team. I mean, there's really nothing at stake. Yeah, but I do believe like 3, possibly four new guys will make their debut, Alfredo.
You think those guys will stay in the A team, like Araujo, the left back kid?
What, this week?
No. For next year.
For next year.
It all depends who goes out.
Well, there's people that are going to go out.
No, I think a lot of those kids, look, it's going to be kind of like when Benfica promoted half the team, when Lage was there, now they did it this year as well. Enrique Araujo, these guys, they all get promoted. They're all part of the main team. They practice the main team, but they all play on a B team. That's what I think.
Red Baron, yeah, but we were talking about that last week, that I would take David Carm.
And Carmo started with Benfica too, by the way. He came up with Benfica system.
I would take him. I think he's a young center back with potential. That's what I think. And I would like to see him. I just like to see center backs with some speed, because that's what we're going to need for Roger Schmidt's system. I don't think
it was mentioned earlier today. Verismo's not coming back until December now. Too,
yeah,
right?
apparently some complications with his recovery, and now he's pushed back until the end of the year.
And Carmo's defender of the month, right? Last month.
That's a huge blow for Benfica. And
that was a blow when he got hurt.
Yeah, I think it was a bigger blow when he got hurt than it is now, Alfredo. Because now you can actually go out and
but I'm thinking in terms of the plans that you have, and certainly Verissimo was going to be part of the plan, and he was going to be a starter for Schmidt because he's got the legs rather than Otamendi and Vertonghen. It's a huge blow for your future plans, and now you may have to think about going to the market and getting a center back that fits that profile. A guy that's fast.
He knows a hell of a center back, Todibo. Oh shit, never mind. He doesn't play for us no more.
What about Semedo?
Go get Ferro.
What's Semedo?
Semedo played 5 minutes for Porto, and he was celebrating like he had won the Champions League.
No, but he played 5 minutes on the B team and got a red card. Did he even play on the main squad?
He did play on the main squad.
Oh, he did? I don't remember.
Medal? Does he get a medal?
Yeah, he played.
He played a minute, gets a medal.
Played a minute. That's it.
Yeah.
Montano man.
You're right.
When a dude like that gets him,
yeah, Musrati and Sangare for the midfield, says Red Baron.
We can afford.
You can only get one of them. You're not getting two. I mean, I'd love to get two, but you're not going to get two.
How much is Musrati's cost?
Morata. So this. Well, Musrata's.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
They wanted like 20 million last
year.
Yeah.
Bro, you're not. Iranian team keeps talking about Isco paying two. Bro, if he's making 200, they're really paying him 400. Right? So he's bringing home 200. They're really paying him 400. So he's making 4 million a year. He's not going to make any less than 2 million clean. So Benfica would have to pay him 4 million.
I think that Benfica 205 means Muratu.
Oh, no. I mean, there's Morata, right? At Juve, the striker.
Yeah.
Probably Murata. It's probably meaning Murata. Yeah. Murato's a nice backup. Murato and the kid. What's the kid's name? Araujo? What's the kid that came up? Yeah. I would take Sangare in a heartbeat. And I like Musrati a lot, but I might have to think about...
cheaper to take Sangare.
Yeah, Musrati will go for 15, throw a couple players, says Red Baron.
That's already in the deal for Horta, so forget it.
Yep.
Next year you're going to have Braga, Porto B. I mean, Benfica B.
Some say it's Benfica B already.
Look, I think that Benfica hasn't explored the domestic market as much as they should have in these past couple of years. And
it's burned them.
Yeah, rather than going out and getting Radonjic and Maites, there's probably
Radonjic was alone, Alfredo. That was cheap.
Yeah, but still, you're still playing some of his wages.
And he hasn't been given the proper time to get a good run, because whenever he was playing there in January and December, I saw some good flashes out of him too, and he was being played as a right back under JJ. Why is he not starting as a winger now? We've got. Is it Chris's boy or Diogo Gonçalves that are getting more run than he is? That one's been shipped to the gallows there.
Apparently,
which boy?
Not good enough.
Which boy?
Your Gaffagnotte.
Gaffagnotte.
Yeah, but it's now, bro. He started playing late, man.
Yeah.
We had too many players, man, Not enough positions on the field.
Not enough quality.
Oh man, don't even go there. But we had just too many people. At one point, I mean, you would even wonder what striker he was going to take, what trio of midfielders were going to go.
The great thing against Porto is that he put all three strikers in, and then there's no definite plan, or there was no game plan to get the ball to those strikers.
And there was no midfield.
Chaotic. It was so
and midfield's been atrocious all year long, Alfredo.
Yeah. The one ball that got there came all the way from the D all the way to
2 centimeters, but it was 2 centimeters too late, bro.
Oh my God!
Isso não conta, não tá nos livros. You're gonna get a medal for that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, João Mário James.
You guys, a la João Moutinho. You guys
those deals. Yeah. Those deals to Monaco.
There's another player coming with Horta. Salvador doesn't want to pay Malaga their share of Horta. Watch for a double deal. Who's the guy at Malaga?
Horta. He used to play at Malaga.
Horta came from Malaga, right? So they probably own a percentage still.
Horta, the younger brother.
Ricardo, not Andre.
Oh, Ricardo.
This one, the one you were talking about.
Ricardo is owned by a percentage is owned by Horta, by Malaga?
Apparently.
I did not know that.
According to Rainy, I keep calling it Rainy and same.
André Gomes might be easy to get if Everton go down.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about André Gomes? Would you take André Gomes?
I like André Gomes, but he's too injury prone.
Especially as you get older, right?
We need creative midfield, man. Creative.
Yeah, we need some Jenga that's not going to turn the ball over like that every day.
Take the ball and drive it forward, man. I miss Renato Sanches in that position, just grabbing the ball, driving it forward, dragging players with you, and then releasing, man.
Or Enzo Perez.
Man, yeah, just drag guys with you, release, drag them, release, drag them, release. We haven't done that. We haven't had somebody like that since we sold him.
Yeah, if we could get Witzel, man, I'd like Witzel. I'd take Witzel.
Witzel did it for the time he was there. Ramirez did it for the time he was there.
Witzel was there a year. Ramirez was there a year, bro. Yeah, those guys were there 3 weekends.
We hit these gems, and it was like, oh, yeah. How about Markovic? Remember him?
He was there a year as well. Went to Liverpool, became a bum.
Cashed in. Liverpool, depois começou a comer fish and chips, yo. Ficou ali, parecia saco de batatas, man. I don't even know where he is now.
Yeah, Baron is right. And he's box to box. We haven't had a box to box.
Yeah, we haven't had a box. Yeah, we haven't had it.
Yeah, that's been a huge thing with our midfield.
Matik's a free agent as well, like Bruno.
Would you guys take Matik? I've been thinking about that.
I would sign Di Maria on a 2-year deal. I would sign Witzel on a 1 year with another for an option. I would sign Matik with a 1 year with another for an option.
Yeah, we call it
absolutely.
I think that Matik could.
You think that works?
Could still play at the
all Benfica of them,
level.
all 3 of them could still play, and it's free. Think about that. You save a shitload of money. Yeah, all 3 of them can still play. Like somebody mentioned to me. Mentioned to me today, Fernandinho at Manchester City. He's out of a contract. He looks like a bum in the EPL. In Portugal, start with his eyes closed. Obviously, he's not going to come, but I'm just using an example.
Yeah, I just think
in Portugal.
You sign those guys for free. You sell a bunch of jerseys. Hey, maybe you got a business plan going on.
Yo, it's free, and those guys are gonna bring culture, a winning mentality, respect. Right, yeah. The younger talk about molding the younger players to become the face. I'm sorry.
Are you gonna play weekend in, weekend out?
In Portugal, pa. I'm not. Look, you're not competing in the EPL.
Well, yeah, but that's what we have right now with some of the old guys.
But Chris, this is one of the things that I was telling you either today or yesterday when we were talking, that our squad is going to need to be deep because of Roger Schmidt's style, physical style.
See, mas in Portugal, if you have Benfica is a team that should have absolutely no problem having 2 players for position. Right, whether it be Ricardo Horta and Di Maria, and then I'm just using an example because we all hope he leaves, but Rafa and some kid from they should have more than adequate replacements to play on a Monday night against Beira-Mar. Do you get what I'm saying? You can give Matik now. You're not going to bench everybody, but you could rotate the squads if you're smart and keep guys fresh. There's 5 subs. That's practically 50% of your lineup, with the exception of a goalie, right? If you take away the goalie, there's 50% of your team you could refresh. You're winning these games. I like to believe in the Portuguese league with Darwin, because again, if you're signing these guys for free, there's no reason to sell Darwin, right? With Matik, with Witzel, with Di Maria. I like to think you're going to be winning a lot of these games. You're going to be leading a lot more than you're going to be trailing. Give guys breathers. I mean, there's ways to rotate. Obviously, when you're playing in the Champions League, you're playing Liverpool, you're not going to be taking guys out at 60 minutes. Those guys are going to have to play the longer minutes. But come on, bro. There's ways to do this, guys. There's way. Where there's a thought problem, where there's a will, there's a way, man. There's ways to do this.
Bom, bora lá wrap this up, man. Next week, as if you guys missed the announcement earlier, next week we will do our final podcast of the season. We'll also do our keep, sell, loan segment that we've been doing for years now. So don't forget to tune in next week. Cristiano Libório, it's a pleasure having you here. Anything you want to plug? Social media? I know you're not on Twitter, right?
No, I'm not on Twitter, guys. And just want to say thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here. I love listening to you guys and checking you guys out and sharing whenever I can the content. Check me out at SPT on Monday nights at 8:15, holding it down for Benfica and trying to avoid a boxing match with the other commentators. But thank you, guys. It was fun.
Yeah, you're very welcome, man. You're very welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Yes, sir.
Dave, Cristiano, always a pleasure. Talk to you guys soon. Cristiano, you didn't talk too much today, so good for you. Bora lá, então. See you guys. Take care. Thanks all the Freddies for joining us.
That's fine. Thank you for the comments, everybody. Thank you for the love.
Awesome.